Guys, there we go. Facebook coming in hot. Good morning, you guys. How are you doing? Good to see you. It is Tuesday morning. Hot topic of the day. I'm telling you what, you just wait. You just wait. This is the topic you've been wanting. I just know it is. I just know it is. Okay, so yesterday, you guys, I'm going to start with this. So yesterday in the Facebook group, I think that was the best first day challenge that we have ever had. That was so much fun. So we're on our 14th challenge right now. And the Facebook group is Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. And I started it a little over a year ago. Well, 13th December, whatever. It doesn't matter. June of last year. Doesn't matter. And so it's our 14th challenge. And so you guys, you are bringing testimonies and then you're bringing encouragement to each other. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful that you are becoming your own advocates, that you are, good morning, Cheryl. Good to see you, that you are, you're taking back your own bodies. You're taking back your own bodies. And I always say, listen, if we can become our own advocates and we can take back our bodies, then we literally can create more memories, better memories, because if we feel good and we function at a higher level, right? And it is stunning to me because, again, who am I? I'm an Italian girl who had a type 2 diabetic dad, insulin resistant, die at 63. I was 30. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a naturopath. I worked with one for a while, but I'm not. And yet here we are collectively coming together saying, we're not going to take it anymore. The misinformation, the bad information, come on, this isn't, insulin resistance is not a terminal diagnosis. Why can't we get any decent information? Why is this so hard? It's not that hard. This is not rocket science. And yet here we are, right? I mean, you guys, anyway, so in the group yesterday, first day of the challenge, it was just like, it's very exciting. It's very cool. Way to go, you guys. Every new testimony that comes in, and what did she say? One of the testimonies that everybody was really getting excited about was she's just lost 14 pounds, and her A1C is down. Victory. That's called victory. Hello. Do you see? That's called victory. So good morning, Miss Brenda. Talk pointers. Talk pointers. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. Hi, Megda. Good morning. Victory, Cheryl. That's right, victory. Because seriously, you guys, if you can't have success, then you just stay in the same routine and you're so frustrated all the time. You're so frustrated. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. You guys are amazing. Kristen is on. Anna is on. It's a party, you guys. It's a party. Okay, very, very good. Okay, this party today is going to discuss. Do you remember yesterday when I was on the live in the group and I said, like Gus on my Big Fat Greek Wedding, he says, give me any word and I will show you how it is originally Greek. Basically is what he's saying. I said, good morning, Nicole. Good to see you. I said, good morning, Kale. Anyway, I'm sure I'm saying it wrong, but good morning. Good morning, Sassy. Good morning. Oh, you guys are amazing. And I said, give me any symptom and I will show you how it originates with insulin resistance. I mean, it's crazy pants, you guys. It's crazy pants. So anyway, okay. So today, what I wanted to talk about is it Khaled or Khaled? Khaled. That is a beautiful name, Khaled. I love that. My daughter's name, so it's Khaled for everybody else. My daughter's name is Kayla, and it's Khyla. So that's very, very cool. I love that connection. Very, very beautiful, Khaled. Okay, so today, why does insulin resistance? The second one, Khaled. I think I'm right. I think that's the second one. Why does insulin resistance cause constipation? We have to talk about it, people. We really, really do. Because, oftentimes when we talk about losing weight, and that is the conversation that we really, really want. Yes. Okay. Khalid. Nice to meet you, Khalid. We really want to lose weight. Everybody wants to lose weight. Raise your hand. Well, not very few people. Actually, I do have some people that reach out to me and they say, I actually don't have any weight to lose. That is the uncommon. Most people who are insulin resistant have weight to lose. But if you don't, that's okay, right? That's perfect. And everything I talk about is still applicable to you, even if you're not looking to lose weight. It just happens to be the more common whatever. Anyway. And so good morning, Desiree, very, very nice. Good morning. But when you're looking to lose weight, you don't want to lose just any weight. You don't want to lose muscle mass. You don't want to, we get on the scale and we get ourselves all of these crazy pieces where we're mentally high, we're mentally low, we're all of these things, all because of numbers on a scale. But do you realize that the numbers on the scale can also be talking to you about impacted waste, right? Like, I'm just saying. So dealing with that, number one, nobody likes to be constipated. It's not a very comfortable feeling, right? And number two, what if there are more simple answers than, anything that would be scripts or whatever? Kristen, you waving at me? You're awesome. Ciao, Bella, movie mama. Yes, ciao. Let's see. Buonasera is, that's good evening. So, what is it? Buongiorno. There you go. All right. And anyway, or just ciao. Ciao is good. So we want to make sure that we're losing, the things that we want to lose. And impacted waste is a very frustrating way to be like skewed on your numbers on your scale. Like, how silly is that we allow something like that to like mess up our mental capacity? But also too, we don't want all of the toxins hanging out in our body. We really, really, really don't. So I'll give, I've got natural remedies for you, of course, like I always do. I have a cart for you that you can check out. But let's talk about why. Why is there this connection between insulin resistance? Like nobody would have seen. Nobody would have maybe thought about this. Like, oh, I wonder if this is connected to my insulin resistance. You're not thinking that. You're probably thinking only like, what did I eat over the last few days? Which obviously can contribute. So I'm not saying that it doesn't. I'm just saying like we can actually think a little more broad and get some more information on that. So let's see here. Okay. So basically insulin resistance can lead to constipation through several mechanisms related to metabolic. And again, we talked about it yesterday, hormonal changes in the body, because insulin is a hormone. Hi, Carmen. Good to see you. So that's one of the things that most women don't know, is that insulin is a hormone. And so we slide into our 40s. We're insulin resistant. This is me talking about me. Kirsten slides into her 40s. She's totally insulin resistant. She's a hot mess express. Her hormones are upside down, and her mother is driving her crazy about her sugars because her dad had already died of type 2. And so, but we don't understand that connection. So even today, I'm looking at some ads that were for a prepackaged system that has system in the name. And I'm looking at, I didn't even know one of the other one was still around. It has to do with that song, Jenny, Jenny. There's a song about that, but anyway, but my point being that all of these, types of prepackaged systems and whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I'm looking at all this stuff and I'm thinking to myself, this is why we're in such a hot mess. This is just my own opinion. Eating all of this prepackaged processed food, like we got here for a reason. And so hormonal, we have got to help our hormones function at a higher level. We're specifically talking about insulin. So hormonal changes in the body. Here are the primary reasons why insulin resistance may contribute to constipation. Number one, altered gastrointestinal motility. So impact on smooth muscle. This is very interesting, you guys, just because if you understand, Crystal, good to see you. I haven't seen you for a little while. That's awesome. Good to see you. Wow. Never connected the two, insulin and constipation. I know this is super. You guys, I'm such a geek. Why do you think I come on here and talk to you guys every single day? I am such a geek. This stuff, because again, this doesn't take a team of specialists to explain this to you, right? Come on. And you don't have to take scripts for everything. Okay. Impact on smooth muscle. Insulin resistance can affect the smooth muscle function of the gastrointestinal tract. Insulin has a role in regulating smooth muscle activity. Did anybody, I knew none of this. Did anybody know any of this? This is crazy. And resistance to insulin can impair this function, leading to slower intestinal transit times. What? How is this a connection? Neuropathy, chronic high blood sugar levels associated with insulin resistance can lead to neuropathy, including autonomic neuropathy, which affects the nerves that control the GI tract. Oh my stars, I've got to start making reels on some of this stuff. This is amazing. This can result in reduced motility and constipation. Okay, that was just number one. Trying to get to my next picture. Hold on. I can do this. No judging. Never mind. Okay, so that was that one. I took my pictures funny, that's why. Don't ask questions. Okay, number 2, changes in hormonal regulation. So let's go back to the hormonal conversation. Increased insulin levels, elevated, which are common in insulin resistance, can impact various hormonal pathways. Insulin can influence gut hormones that regulate bowel movement, such as motilin and ghrelin. Disruption in these hormones can lead to slower bowel movements and constipation. So basically, when you're insulin resistant, when your insulin is high all the time, it's literally messing up other hormones in your body. And so you don't even know it. So the hormone that tells you that you're full, the hormone that keeps you, slows down your cravings, the hormones, all of your hormones get disrupted, not just insulin. It's not an island unto itself. This is a very well created system that God gave us that works in, that has synchronicity. Right? And so you're messing up all of them. Good morning, Tammy. The whole crew is here. This is too fun. The whole crew is here. Okay. Yes, I need to make some videos. You've never heard this before. Okay. I will commit myself to making a reel on this because this is very interesting. And then the second hormone that they're talking about is cortisol. Insulin resistance is often associated with elevated cortisol levels, which is your stress hormone. High cortisol can slow down GI motility and contribute to constipation. The number 3 is dehydration. So in dehydration, fluid retention, insulin resistance can cause the body to retain sodium and water. So we kind of know that a little bit. Like my father always had, between his type 2 and his heart issues, he had a lot of fluid retention, like in his legs and his ankles, etc. And so he was always taking scripts for that, Lasix and stuff like that. But insulin resistance can cause the body to retain sodium and water, leading to fluid imbalances. When the body retains fluid in tissues, less water may be available in the intestines, leading to harder stools and constipation. Number 4 is dietary factors. High carbohydrate diets. Now, this is my jam. This is my conversation for sure. Talking about high carbohydrate, because I teach grain-free, sugar-free, whole food, keto, mostly in the group Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. And I'm telling you, you can make it so that your blood sugars, by the way you eat, they can hum right along. And then I teach targeted supplementation. That's where a lot of the testimonies come from. But so high carbohydrate, you can't keep doing what you've been doing that got you into the pickle to begin with, because the overconsumption of carbohydrates over a long period of time is very specifically what got us into the pickle. Because over time, we just kept on creating more and more and more and more and more and more insulin, creating inflammation, and then it stores all the excess fuel as fat. And we have to turn that around. So anyway, you found a formula. Oh, interesting, Cheryl. Have I heard of that formula? Cheryl, I don't know. I'm going to think about that, because I wonder if Maria Emmerich teaches something like that, but I don't know for sure. I'm not really positive on that one. So dehydration. Okay, high carbohydrate diets. In many individuals with insulin resistance, they consume high carbohydrate diets. Hello. Which can lack sufficient fiber. Low fiber diets can contribute to constipation because fiber is essential for adding bulk to stools and promoting regular bowel movements. Processed foods is the other dietary factor. Diets high in processed foods, which are common. This is why I get really it tweaks me a little bit. Tweaks me about thinking about the prepackaged programs, because all we're doing is we're upping our processed food game. I don't get it. I mean, I have a very specific memory. It's back in the 90s. My kids, we had just moved back to Minnesota. We'd been living in the Black Hills of South Dakota. I'm in my very ignorant stage, not paying any attention to anything. I'm not eating whole foods. I'm not checking my sugars. I'm not doing any of the things that I should be doing. And I remember having a season where I started purchasing the smart ones. Does anybody know what the smart ones are out of the freezer section? That's a Weight Watchers product. And I was using those a lot because we were in a really, we were literally living in my mother's basement, having moved back from the Black Hills, and we were waiting for our real estate transaction to go through. So we were in a small environment with small amenities, etc. So I was using like microwaved food, prepackaged food, just because of convenience. So I'm doing this, and thank you so much for sharing the live, Our Love. You are amazing. And I remember thinking to myself as I was going to the grocery store, this can't be good for me. Now, I'm the one who thought ibuprofen was supplementing. I mean, I didn't really think that. I just treated it like it was. I'm the one who was so addicted to sugar, I couldn't see straight. I wasn't eating healthy food. And so for me in that part of my season to go, this can't be smart. I think, funny, because it's prepackaged, it's processed food. Like this doesn't, right? So here we are, processed foods, diets and high processed foods, which are common in those with insulin resistance, often lack the necessary nutrients to support healthy digestion. And so I just think to myself, all of these prepackaged programs, my heart just kind of is like, it's like I can teach you, I can show you, I can give you a fish, or I can teach you to fish. Maybe that's what I feel in the Facebook group, like yesterday, that being such a great day with you guys. I feel like you guys are learning how to fish. Then you'll have these keys for your life. Anyway, and I think I'm missing a few things on Facebook. I can tell my comments look weird. Okay, so that's number 4 was the dietary factors. And now number 5 is inflammation. And we talk about this stuff a lot, you guys. Inflammation, chronic inflammation, insulin resistance is linked to chronic low-grade inflammation. Inflammation in the gut can disrupt more bowel function, normal bowel function, and contribute to symptoms like constipation. That's number 5. So all of the inflammation, remember, when you have high insulin and you have high sugars, you can't lose weight. This is why you're stuck on your hamster wheel. This is why you're doing this, because we have been taught to eat this very high carbohydrate diet, whole grains, whole grains, whole grains. And then we change that into whole refined grains. And now we eat refined food all day long, blah, blah, blah. Lots of sugar, lots of corn syrup, lots of seed oils. We just have completely changed this entire diet structure. And so what happens then is when we become high insulin, which eventually leads to high sugars, and we can't lose weight, we're like, what's going on with me? Why can't I lose the weight? Blah, blah, blah. But in the meantime, we have high inflammation because that high insulin is just like over the top. It's not able to take the fuel into your cell. It's not able to do that anymore. So you keep making more and more and more and more and more because your pancreas is convinced that it's not doing enough. That's why it keeps on making more, because that cell is closed. It thinks it's thinking it's doing something wrong or not doing something enough. So all of this inflammation is going on. And this is literally the root of why people can feel so inflamed all the time and you feel super frustrated. Anyway, so the inflammation, the chronic inflammation, basically it disrupts your normal bowel functions. Who knew that? And then number 6 is your gut. Dysbiosis. Insulin resistance can alter the composition of the gut. An imbalance in gut bacteria can affect bowel movements and lead to gastrointestinal issues, including constipation. So gut, we probably already know that one in terms of, we talk about probiotics, etc. And then the 7th one is medication side effects. So a lot of you I know, good morning, Carrie. Good to see you. Good morning. Good morning. So a lot of you are already taking scripts. And I know this because I chat with you in my inbox. And I know that you're working on, hey, join my team. That is awesome. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, Kristen, thank you for the heart. You're amazing. We talk a lot about, oh man, no, hold on, Kristen. I'm going to get my thought back. I have my thought. Oh, because I talked to you guys a lot about getting off of meds. So like right now, I have somebody who texted me a couple of days ago, and she's only got 1 week left now. But at the time, she texted me a week ago. At the time, she was told by her doctor that she had 2 weeks left on a BP med because she has been using the trio and she is getting off of her scripts. Now, I don't ever make claims, but I will tell you testimonies because that is amazing and she can't wait. So she probably has a little less than a week left now. Hello, Sherry. Good to see you. You guys are all jumping on. And so she's so excited because I'm 59 and I'm not on any meds, you guys. So I don't know how it feels to take something and then feel gross. My dad did. I know a lot of other people do, right? Like he had so many meds that his meds were fighting to work with each other. And that's why he felt really icky, like up until about noon every day, because he would take all of his scripts with his injections of insulin, and he wasn't even safe to drive until noon. So I know many, many, many of you are wanting to get off of scripts and you don't even have hope that you can. But I want you to have hope. So always, I try to remember to say this, go over to my Instagram, and at the top, there's a pink highlight bubble. Go and look through those testimonies of the trio. Those are the 3 supplements that have the 3 ingredients that help with insulin sensitivity. Will you go through those so that you can see for yourself? Because this isn't always all about weight loss, even though that's probably one of the number one thing that people are tracking. Because when their insulin and their sugars come down, they're finally able to lose weight. However, when you bring down your insulin and your sugars, you're also bringing down inflammation. You're also bringing into a better harmony other hormones like cortisol. High cortisol is that oftentimes, I have to say, because there's a base there, too high BP. Right? So what if you're bringing things down and you're kind of bringing in some synchronicity into your hormonal conversation universe inside of your body, and other things start to fall into place? BP starts to fall into place. I've had other people say things to me like, their hormones have come into balance, like through some tests, just because they've seen things, shift. Right? But most people aren't thinking in those terms because most people don't know that insulin is even a hormone. So let me just read what it's saying about taking, scripts. Basically, it's saying that anti-diabetic medications, some that are used to manage insulin resistance and type 2, they can have side effects that include constipation. And so maybe that's one of the side effects that you're not excited about. One of my customers, I've got a couple. I actually have several, but one of them, she was talking about how she was on the O injection and she hated one of the side effects, which was constipation. She's like, I've got to get off of this. And she used the trio to do that. And I love that very much, because if you're talking about, good morning, Carrie, good to see you. Oh my gosh, you shared the live. Thank you, Carrie. Thank you. Most people don't want that to be a side effect. And she, there were other pieces to that puzzle, but I would have never known any of that, right? Because I wasn't taking it. So I only know stuff because you guys tell me why you want to get off of something. Your husband is working to get off of his BP meds. Yep. Good. Isn't that amazing? You guys, we can take it. We can take this back. I'm just telling you. So if a lot of the benefits of taking the O injection happens to be, let's say, lower appetite, that's one I'm hearing from the trio. Less sugar cravings, that's one I'm hearing from the trio. Weight loss, that's one I'm hearing from the trio. These are all, what if there are natural answers? it's a conversation, right? I'm just saying. So in light of what I just talked about, there are two things that I want to just offer to anybody. It's like, if you need a cart that has the trio in it, will you just put, you would actually have to jump in TikTok. You would have to go over to Instagram, but you can get into my inbox and you can just say, I was on your live today and I want a trio cart. Will you show me that the trio that you're talking about that helps with insulin resistance to go to insulin sensitivity? Because maybe you have sugars that need to come down, insulin, a fasting insulin test. Maybe you need to lose weight finally. And also too, over on IG is where you can get the all the testimonials in the pink highlight bubble. Facebook, you can put everything that I talk about in the comments because I see it when I'm done, because it stays there. You guys just don't stay there. But point being that if you want to see the trio in a cart, I will do that for you. But I also have a gut health cart. And I think that people who are dealing with constipation, the only thing that I don't have to offer you that I highly recommend if you're having constipation issues is a magnesium citrate. I highly recommend, and try to maybe find a blend so that it just has citrate in it, because you don't have to necessarily take it straight in order to have good results. You just need a little bit in your universe. Could your A1C be wrong? Tell me why you think your A1C is wrong. Because I'm not a doctor, but I will give you an answer according to what I've chatted with people about. Don, so you can get the trio from me. You get it from me. I can get you a cart that has all three products in it. And in fact, I can get you a couple of testimonies just to read them to you. Because honestly, you guys know I've been doing this for a long time now. And the best blessing and benefit are people that are actually turning things around and they are able to get off of scripts. That's one of the best benefits. But the second cart is for your gut. So if you need a gut health cart, will you get into my DMs, TikTok and IG, get into my DMs and say you talked about a gut health cart. If you want both, I'll get you both for sure. I will customize it for you and put both in there for you. There's 3 in the trio and there are 3 in the gut health. And okay, back to the citrate. The citrate blend would really be helpful. But otherwise, what I am talking about very specifically are things that can help with the lining of your gut, the bacteria of your gut, and the digestion of what you're eating on the front end. So digestive enzymes and a good wild-caught fish oil and a very good probiotic that has a prebiotic and 5 strains. So that combination can really get you, and probably a lot of people haven't put all those 3 specific things together to really create a very detailed universe for your digestion and your gut, leading to better help with your constipation. Yep. If you're not absorbing food well. So Norberto, your A1C. So I'll just chat for a second. I'm just going to talk like out loud and let me know exactly what you mean. So basically what you're saying is that your A1C, which shows you what your average blood sugars were over the last 3 months, it's high is what I'm assuming. And you're saying, what if they're wrong because I'm not absorbing my food well? I don't know that there's a connection to lack of absorption and an A1C necessarily. The only reason why I'm saying that is because I get what you're saying, but whatever you're eating is still spiking your sugars too much. So if you continually spike your sugars and make your body call on insulin, this is where you've got issues going on, right? So what I teach, like in the Facebook group, Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women, are the ingredient trade outs. And in fact, today is day number 2 of the free challenge. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about. So as an Italian girl, I needed to figure out how to trade out my ingredients. And I thought that was so mountainous, so hard that I literally started with supplements, because that's how I came upon the answer of the trio. And what it did for me was I'm the only one in my family that avoided type 2. And so that's my story. But changing out your food ingredients is very important. So for instance, let's just pretend that you went carnivore and you only ate beef, butter, eggs, and bacon. Like I don't know if you've all heard people doing this. Let's just pretend. Well, there are literally like no carbs in that conversation. So there is nothing to spike. I'm just going to the extreme. There's nothing to spike your sugars. So if you did that, there wouldn't be any question of a misrepresentation on an A1C because you never spiked your sugars to begin with. So you would only watch your A1C come down. And it would have nothing to do with how well you didn't absorb your beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. Does that make sense? So this is why this is a two-pronged conversation, in my opinion. I'm a very narrow conversationalist. I talk about two things and two things only. Balloons on Instagram. Number one is targeted supplementation because it's where I started and it's what works. And it's where all of the testimonies are coming from. People who have had their morning sugars stuck for 3 years. People who couldn't lose 1 pound because they stalled out on keto and they weren't using the glasses and the lens of insulin resistance to shift their internal structure so that they could finally lose weight. That's where all of the testimonies are coming from. Those are the 3 supplements that have the 3 ingredients that help with insulin sensitivity. Okay, so you went from a 6.3 to a 5.2, but that's good. So you're going down. So why do you think it's wrong? So you're scared that it's too good to be true? Is that possible? I think that any test has an ability to be faulty for sure. Like, could there be a false positive? Absolutely. Like get it tested again, maybe if you have the availability. So Don, anyway, to answer your question, if you're still on, I can send you a cart when I get off. I can answer that for you. I can. That's so interesting though, isn't it? Because your labs so Carrie says her labs all just came back good, but she can't seem to lose weight. Yep. I know, Carrie, that can happen. That's where I have testimonies of people who like they could get their A1C down, but they just couldn't get those morning sugars down. But then once they started on the trio, and again, these are not magic pills that come from a beanstalk. We're talking about the basic conversation of filling in nutritional gaps, because when you fill in nutritional gaps with, trace minerals and things like that, all of a sudden your body goes, oh, and it wakes up. It just wakes up a system. So this is what the trio looks like. Just 3. They're small. I like to show them. You're 5'4", not going down. You do OMAD and keto. Yep. Well, and again, you know what? This is where, are you in the Facebook group? I would love to know if you're in the Facebook group and you're not diabetic. Yep. I know. You don't have to be diabetic, you guys. I was insulin resistant for 20 years. Before I did anything about it. You quit drinking sodas, cut out sugar, sweets as much as you could. Good. Yes. Well, then your A1C came down for a reason. That's really good. So your labs came back good. And I assume when you say your labs, Carrie, you mean your blood sugar labs. Because that's what they test. They're not testing your fasting insulin. That's the issue, you guys. Yes. So here we go. Let me explain. We used to treat carbohydrates as kind of treats, especially when it came to donuts and cookies. And if you had a sugared anything or whatever at the mall back in the 90s, go back to the 80s and the 90s, things were more treats. Now we eat it all day long, every day. Nice to meet you, Carrie. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. I have a Facebook group called Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. I really highly recommend people jump in there. Today is the 2nd day of the free challenge, and this is our 14th one. Yep, so you'll join. Okay, you're not diabetic, though you're insulin resistant. Perfect. That's exactly where you are. That's perfect. You're my person. And so we used to eat differently, where we didn't literally eat processed foods from the minute we woke up till the minute we went to bed, where we're going literally from cereal to sandwiches to, whatever it is, everywhere we go, we're just eating processed foods, and it's very high carb, and it's very high refined. And so we kind of got ourselves into this pickle. So we were raising our we were eating and raising our sugars. And so our body was compensating, and it was giving us insulin so that it could take that sugar and use it as fuel. Insulin is the hormone that wants to take your fuel and choose that sugar fuel, glucose fuel, and use it as energy in your cells. Like, that's the primary role of insulin. So it's always doing this, transporting. Everything you eat turns into glucose. Okay. Now, when you eat something that is high sugar, high refinement, your body goes way up. Now, your body wants sugar for fuel. It wants the glucose for fuel. So insulin goes, oh, wow, you gave me a lot of sugar for fuel. Whoa, brings it into the cell. Okay. That's its job. But what happens then is your cell, after a while, goes, door closed. I have a lot of layman thought process as to, it doesn't matter. I won't go there. Door closed. So now the insulin that grabbed the sugar in my layman conversation here to bring it into the cell, it can't get it into the cell. Now it's like, there's no place to put it. Maybe I didn't make enough insulin. That's what it is. I didn't make enough insulin. I'm going to go make more insulin. Still can't get it in. So eventually what it does is it says, okay, I'm just going to store it all as fat. And it goes on the inside of your knees and your back fat and your belly fat and your arms, and you get the picture. That's what's happening. So over time, your insulin is just getting higher and higher and higher. However, that doesn't mean it's showing up in your blood yet. So we're over here in the matrix, and they're taking this level right here, and they're going, I have to see where my hand is. Oh, it came back down to normal. Okay, you're fine. You're fine. Because even though it's spiking up and the insulin is grabbing it, it's still dropping to normal. It's still regulating. It's regulating. And your doctor's going, good to go, girlfriend. Your labs look amazing. You're so good. And then all of a sudden, overnight, because it's almost like there's this tipping point of some sort. The bowl tips over. And all of a sudden you are pre-diabetic. All of a sudden your numbers are wrong. Well, instead of only checking this number, this sugar number all the time, when it's regulating and it's way down here and they're telling you it's okay, why aren't they checking this number, this fasting insulin number, this hormone number? But they're not. I have no idea how many of you have told me that you have to beg for it. Why? Because you see, once they tell you that you're here, and you're like, oh, I'm so sorry, overnight, all of a sudden, look at there, you're pre-diabetic. Well, I have a bottle of scripts for you. Just take this. That's all you have to do. That's what happens, right? I mean, tell me I'm wrong. Tell me that you had a different experience. I would love to hear about different experiences. I'd love to have hope in humanity again, but that's not what happens. But see, this is the beginning of a triune effect, meaning you don't just get put on MET. You get put on MET, you get put on an STATIN, you get put on an HB med. And then eventually, because the STATIN brings sadness, you get on an anti-sadness. So this is why they're telling you that in your 50s, it is common to be on a minimum of 3 scripts. That's where this is coming from. Okay. So we either buy what they're selling us or we don't, and we do something different. And we mitigate by filling in nutritional deficiencies. We mitigate by changing out our ingredients. We mitigate by shifting the way we're actually viewing our weight loss. Weight loss is not calorie in, calorie out problem. Weight loss is a hormonal problem, mainly insulin. Okay. That's my speech. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. You guys are awesome. Okay. I'm missing stuff. Hold on. So you take berberine, and if that works for you, that is great. I do have people that come to me and say that it had not been working for them. So that's why they ended up taking the trio. So you're losing fat on legs and back and slow belly and arm wings. Yes. You're from India. How do you connect? Oh, you don't. I'm so sorry. I know there's so many countries that I wish I could sell in other countries, but for right now, I'm able to connect with customers in the United States and Canada and the Dominican Republic. You've been on all of them, Brenda. I know. It ticks me off, you guys. It just ticks me off. Makes sense, Carrie says. Boo-hoo, you're right. I had that conversation yesterday. I know. Boo. Mm-hmm. I hate it. And I want to empower you. I want you to wake up right now. Pretend that you were sleeping and wake up right now and go, oh, my insulin resistance actually isn't a terminal diagnosis. I actually can take it into my own hands. I actually can become my own advocate because I don't need a team of specialists to tell me how to turn this back. And if I turn it back, I wonder if I could reduce my scripts. I am going to try that. That's what I want you to do in your head. That's what I want you to do in your head. So here, I'm just going to give you some testimonies. And if you need a trio cart, if you need a gut health cart, or if you need a both cart, let me know. TikTok and Instagram, you have to get into my inbox on Instagram because I can't send you anything on the Tickety Talk. It's just the way it is. You guys are amazing people. And I have met some of the best, like some of my best customers on TikTok, but I have to chat with you somewhere else. It's just the way they did it. Since you can't take, because you're vegan, you found a vitamin supplement with adaptogenic herbs as well. Did you? Good for you. Good for you. I look forward to hearing how that works for you, for sure. Peggy, thank you for the follow. You're amazing. Okay, testimonies. So here we go. This was sent to me on July 3rd. So literally last week, I just got this one. I was just checking in after a couple of weeks of her being on the trio. She said, I've lost 8 pounds and I'm off sugar. And now she's working to get off of all grain. Because again, when your sugars or your insulin are high, you can't lose weight. This is the conversation. This is the base of the conversation. The conversation isn't how many points should you count or how much deficit should you be in, although I understand all of it. I get it. Calories play a role, deficit plays a role, blah, 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 blah. I get it. But the main conversation on the front end is if your sugars and or your insulin is high, because they're two separate things, you can't lose weight. So I'm dealing with that first. And then when you do begin to back that down, what happens is with the trio, your appetite starts to simmer down. The food noise starts to calm itself. The sugar cravings start to abate. They start to go kind of like away. And that helps you then to get to that next step, right? That's all I'm trying to say. This was June 24th. So she ordered it on the 10th of June and she was 10 pounds down. 10th to the 24th. The next one is June 18th, 9 pounds down since the 7th of June. These are just a few I grabbed. Don't take my word for it. Go to my IG page, go to my Instagram page, look at the pink highlight bubble, okay? Get your own hopes up. Get yourself encouraged. Don't sit in hopeless land. Don't do that, okay? Don't do it. Oh, you love it so far. Yay, good. Yes, that is fantastic. And then this one was, I don't have a date on this one, but I think it was in June. Down 5 pounds since starting the trio. Cravings are so diminished. I've resisted bakery rolls twice at work. That was a recent one. And I love that because isn't that a non-scale victory, right? This one was actually back in March. And she said, I've lost 20 pounds since January 30th. And she had been gaining and gaining and gaining no matter how careful she was at eating low carb. I'm wearing clothes that I had put away because I couldn't fit into them anymore. Thank you so much. And that's a good picture of a handful of the pieces. And then I also do have testimonies of people where testimonies from people that, their BP came down or their fasting insulin came down. Things that are so dang important, that dawn phenomenon, those morning sugars that are stinky and sticky. They just kind of stay there. And like even Dr. Eric Berg will say, those morning sugars can take like a year to come down. BP can take a year to come down. I'm just seeing it compressed for people. I'm seeing it compressed. Somebody who her morning sugars went from the 180s down to the 150s in 2.5 months. Like, that's less than a year. So I'm just saying there are some ways that you can speed up and compress time. That's really what that is. Processed foods disrupt our systems. It is different, Crystal. Let me tell you, our system so much. I know. So Crystal, yes. So because you've been taking the purple packet, those are 3 supplements inside of 1 packet, which you already know. And these are adaptogenic herbs and all of your 8B vitamins time released. This is what helped me, beginning with my brain fog, my ability to multitask. All of a sudden I'm like, oh, I can multitask. I don't have to feel so stupid next to young coworkers. That's where I was when I started taking this in my 40s. Over time, I didn't know that it was going to help balance out my hormones because I didn't understand the connection between taking adaptogenic herbs and having them support your adrenals, and your adrenals regulate your hormones. So this is the purple packet. If you're taking it for energy or brain fog, just take as needed. If you're really trying to do a number on your hormones to try to get them to be a little happier, do twice a day, once in the morning and once after lunch, so that you don't mess with your sleep. The trio are 3 separate supplements. They're not in a packet. They're not in a bundle, but I can put them all in a cart. That's why I offer a cart like that, so that people don't have to go searching. Like, how streamlined can we possibly make the process so that you can actually have clarity? Because I already know that if you're insulin resistant, the chances that you have brain fog are really high. Because that's a symptom. So I don't want to make a system complicated for you if you have brain fog, because then I'm just frustrating you even more. So the trio are 3 supplements that look like this. And basically the combination are helping with insulin, sugars, side note, appetite, sugar cravings. That's also just bonus. That's extra. But really helping you with your liver. Your liver helps you to metabolize your fat. It helps to govern your hormones. It helps to govern the glucose in your blood. You know, we have a fatty liver issue in this country. It's in our children now. That's where that piece comes in, because if your liver is tired and toxic, you can't lose weight. It's just the reality. Then the third one is actually helping with visceral belly fat. That's the fat around your organs that you really want to get rid of. But then it's also helping with metabolism. So there's like this combination of things that it's helping with. And so it is completely different. But Crystal, I can always get you, I can get you a, whatever. I'll send you a link to the cart if you need that. You're right. It doesn't come up. Go ultra focus. Go ultra focus. Thank you for asking, Brenda. Ultra focus. Thank you for asking. Let's see if I missed anything over there. Yes, I get used to my own acronyms, don't I? I try to tell people that in conversations, and sometimes yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. You'll see it. You'll see it because it's literally, it's a box that has like a purple top on it. You'll see it. So that won't be hard. And again, it's just different things it's all hormonal though. So what we do in the United States, or in general, I shouldn't say United States because it really doesn't maybe have anything to do with our country, but there's this one coin, and we just keep having 2 separate conversations, but they are actually the same conversation. So I know that when people, like in my stories and stuff, I talk a lot about the supplements that I'm using and taking and breaking them down, et cetera. And sometimes people can be like, wow, you're taking, because I'll take a little palm full of supplements. And it's like, but my dad took a Lazy Susan full of meds. And I want to be able to do both. I shouldn't have put those away. I want to be able to go both sides of the conversation. I want to be on this side of the coin with the insulin resistance, but I also want to be on This side of the coin, my adaptogenic herbs to help my hormonal balance, because there's nothing more frustrating than feeling like something's wrong with you. Like feeling like if you don't want people to know how you're struggling in your head to multitask or to remember, and you just kind of keep thinking maybe this is what it's like just to get old, maybe like you just don't feel as sharp as you used to be, and nobody wants that. And that's where the purple packet really does come in and help people. Because if you can help your brain fog on one side of the conversation and have a more sense of well-being inside of your hormones, because when you're disrupted in your hormones, you feel there's like that right under the surface, there can be like anger, anxiousness, sadness that maybe mimics postpartum sadness, right? And it's because it's all hormonal. And so when you can take the edge off of things, you can actually then move into and think clearly enough to, oh, I can redo my pantry. Oh, I can shop for different ingredients. Oh, I can try a new recipe. I mean, it actually helps you to then be able to function, and let's get the sugars down. Let's get the weight off. Let's change that conversation. So I hope that helps. Do I still use carb blocker? I love that question, Cheryl. I do not. So I talk about it all the time that I used to have carb blocker in my pockets for a good solid 3 to 4 years, because I was learning for myself. This was a me problem, right? I was learning my own navigation of social settings because I wanted to be able to change out my ingredients without shame. This is my own journey. I needed to get rid of messages that were in my brain from being a child and in an Italian family where there was a lot of obesity and a lot of type 2. So I used carb blocker to mitigate the sugar spike, and always had it in my pockets for a long, long time. And at some point, my scale tipped. And what I mean by that, I don't mean the scale you step on for your weight. I mean my scale of changing out my pantry and my fridge, which I'll show you tomorrow in the Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women Challenge group. I tipped my scales, and all of a sudden, I just had enough recipes in my repertoire that I didn't need it anymore. I didn't care because I wasn't eating things that were spiking my sugars. I wasn't buying pasta anymore. I wasn't buying white flour anymore, white sugar. I wasn't buying bad processed food. When I go to a restaurant, I don't ever eat a bun. But you want to know why I don't eat a bun? I just don't want to be freaking exhausted. I don't have time for that. That feeling, I remember it like it was yesterday. But if I ate right now, if I went to a tavern and I got a really big, juicy, amazing hamburger and I ate it with the bun, I would want a nap. It's that food coma. I'm not interested anymore. I think I used to chase it because obviously you guys, come on. Do you know that internal, you almost get a little bit of euphoria when you eat carbs? You're like, ooh, and you're all warm and fuzzy. I didn't chase it anymore. So I stopped using carb blocker. And the other thing that I don't use anymore also is there's a joint health product that I have that is phenomenal. Amazing. If you guys have, if you need help, you've tried glucosamine and it wasn't enough for you, this is like a glucosamine on steroids. It has a proprietary anti-inflammatory blend, and you take 2 and then 2 and 2 and 2 every day, and you get up and over that inflammation anyway. And I took that for years because I ached. But now I've turned back my insulin resistance. My inflammation is completely deflated. I don't need it anymore. However, if you're looking just for inflammatory help in general, like your whole body, please ask me about the turmeric, because the turmeric, you guys, 45 times more absorbable than an average brand. 45 times, because what you may not know is that turmeric is actually not absorbable into your system. Hardly at all. So they devised it into extract to make sure that taking 400 milligrams of this is like taking 6,000 milligrams of another brand. Such a good turmeric. It's so helpful. And then they mix it with fenugreek, which gives it a very cool, sweet smell. Almost, to me, it smells like maple syrup. But fenugreek is another layer of help for your sugars. Just telling you. So, available now. What's the question, Cheryl? What's available? What was not available? Tell me. I'll look it up for you. I'll look it up for you right now. You can make the buns with egg whites. Yes, Brenda. See, if I cared, this is the deal. Gall, thank you for saying that. Now what I do is I've learned how to make an egg white bread. So if I wanted buns, I would just make them myself. Obviously, I don't care enough, which is perfect. That's me assessing me. What do I care about? What don't I care about? There you go. Then I'm able to, I could make them with egg whites. And that's like so true. You hate to be full like I used to. Yes. Thank you for the follow, user. Is the grain-fed cattle meat bad for you? Well, that's a whole conversation, right? So I do buy grass-fed beef, but you know what? Sometimes grass-fed, they still finish it with corn because, yeah, corn in the United States is really, I don't think that you can find corn that is clean in the United States. I don't think you can. 7,000, Anna. Woo! Thank you. Oh my gosh, Anna, you're amazing. You guys are amazing. Thank you. Thank you. You guys are so good. The supplement that I was talking about before the turmeric. Hold on. What was I talking about before the turmeric? Did I mention the ashwagandha? The trio? Well, we are already talking about the trio. The carb blocker. I don't remember, Cheryl. How about buns made of avocado and almond flour? Magda, so you can totally do that. Oh, the purple packet. Are you talking about the purple packet? Cheryl, thank you for asking for glucose. So you're talking about the trio to help with the sugars and the insulin, the liver, the visceral belly fat metabolism. Is that what you're talking about? Magda, you can do the buns with the avocado and the almond flour. And if those work out for you, great. I will give you a caveat. If you are stalling on your weight loss, you have to back off of the almond flour. It's why I make the egg white bread all the time instead of an almond flour bread, instead of other things, because nuts can stall your weight loss. You thought I was talking about something new. The turmeric. I think it was the actual turmeric. Oh, yes. So Cheryl, this is what I'm saying. So the turmeric, what they did was they mixed in with this fenugreek. That's what I think you're referencing. And the fenugreek, funny enough, gives it this sweet smell, which I love. It smells like maple syrup. It's just what fenugreek is. Like if you bought it at the store and used it in a recipe, it would smell like, whatever. And it happens to be really helpful for sugars. It's another layer. So I was just giving you a side note of information on the turmeric. Like if you look up fenugreek and helpful for blood sugars, that's what you would see. And it's just kind of really cool. I love how God gave us these kinds of answers. Like that stuff geeks me out. I really get excited about that. You're welcome, Magda. And I really love using, like, you guys, I could eat nuts all day long and use almond flour all day long. It's kind of what gets me into it. Really stalls out my weight during Christmas time, but I enjoy myself because I'll make a lot of keto treats with almond flour and I'll just enjoy my season. That's what I do. Joint health. Yes. Carb blockers. Yes. Oh, you guys. Oh, joint health. Thank you. I see what you're saying. Hey, Ruthie. Good to see you. So, yeah, you're welcome, Cheryl. I think that's what you were asking, was that, because otherwise I was talking about the joint health, but that had nothing to do with sugars. So anyway, all right, I have an appointment that I'm very, very late for an important date. I have to run, but you guys are amazing. Do not forget. Let me know if you need a cart for the trio, if you need a cart for gut health or for both. You kind of have to be able to either get into my messenger or into my inbox on Instagram. If you're not in the group Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women, get in there. Today is day number 2 of the challenge, and I will look and try to get people in there before I go live at 2:00, balloons on Instagram. And we're going to do ingredient trade outs. So don't miss, because it really is your opportunity to help yourself go a little bit further. And so, Kristen, thank you. You guys got me up to 8.4 thousand likes on TikTok. You guys, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Eric. Thank you for sharing the live. I so appreciate it. See you this afternoon, Kristen. I'm so excited. All right. Have a blessed day, you guys. Woohoo. Anna says, all right. See you later. You guys are the best. The best. All right. I have to try to see if I can see my buttons enough. Okay. See you later. All right, Facebook, if you need anything, please put it in the comments below. I can see you when I'm done. I just can't see them when I'm done. So if you need the trio cart, a gut health cart, both, let me know. See ya.